Right now so far, all of our web pages have been rather simple. They've just been we've described the structure of the page, and we've described we want a list here, we want a form there. What we might really like is some way of specifying that we want to style our web page in some way. We want to add color. We want to add spacing. We want to add some sort of other layout to our page as well. And in order to do that, we're going to use a second language that we're going to call CSS, short for Cascading Style Sheets. In particular, we'll use the latest version of CSS, CSS 3, which gives us the ability to take an HTML page and tell the web browser how we would like it to be styled. Instead of just black text in the same font on a white background, we can begin to specify particular CSS properties of how we would like this page to look to make sure that the page looks the way we want it to. So, in this video we will look at a simple example now of CSS to take a look at how we can add some CSS code to our page. So I'll go ahead and create a new file that I'll call style.html, just to demonstrate some basic ideas of adding some style to our page. And we'll go ahead and copy the same hello.html from before. And maybe in addition to hello world, I display in H1 some big heading at the top that says like, welcome to my web page, for example. So now, if I open up style.html, this is what I see. I see a big heading at the top that says welcome to my web page, beneath which is just the text, hello world. And now imagine that I want to add some style to this heading at the top of the page. Maybe instead of just being black text, I'd like to change the color. In order to do that, just as we've used attributes in the past to add additional information to this particular HTML page, we can do a very similar thing with CSS. We can specify that we're going to give this H1 element a style attribute. And that is going to be equal to. And then in quotation marks, we're going to provide all of the CSS properties that we would like to add to this particular element. So the way that CSS styling works is that we can give elements individual CSS properties, where a property is something like the color of the element or the alignment of the element. And each of those properties has a default value. But we can change its value to something else. So if, for example, I wanted to change the color of this heading, so that instead of a black heading, it displayed as the blue heading, I could say for this H1, I would like to give it a color property. And then to give the color property a value, I say color colon, and then the value that I would like to give to it. So color colon blue, for example, followed by a semicolon will change the color of this H1 element to blue. And my text editor is automatically showing me a little square that shows me what this color blue is actually going to look like. This isn't part of the text. It's just my text editor being helpful, so that I can see in advance as I'm writing this code what the color is actually going to look like. So now if I open up style.html, here's what I see. Instead of a black heading at the top, we've changed the color to blue. And there are many other built-in colors that exist within HTML that we can use in order to change the color to whatever we want. If instead of blue, I said I want the color to be red, for instance, I can refresh the page. And now, the heading is red. And there are many other colors. I can change the color to like spring green, for instance. And that's going to be a particular shade of green that displays just like this. And so now, we have the ability to add various different style properties to individual elements. I can say take this heading and change its style, so that the color instead of being black is going to show up as blue instead. Well, in the next video we will look at how to add multiple CSS properties to the same HTML element, and look at what is an alignment property. Thank you.